Quick and dirty on a Dodge Ram 2019 brakes. These are pulsating like crazy when you're on the highway, when you're just any speed. You can feel it in the seat and in the steering wheel, which is telling you that it's the front brakes and the rear both are having pulsation issues. So first thing we're gonna do is spread the pistons out. So to deal with that, we will remove the caliper first. It is a 16mm bolt. So we're gonna just remove these two 16mm bolts. Once you have the two bolts removed, you're gonna pry the caliper up. Once you have the caliper out, grab one of the old pads. And remember, you could think brake pads are still new, everything's good, but if the customer has a pulsation, then it doesn't matter. Your caliper tool, you can even use a clamp tool, something like this, oil filter wrench. Just adjust it, stick it in there. Remember, you want to depress both pistons back in, and then we'll be right back. Once the piston's depressed, hang it up so it's not hanging off the actual caliper line. And now we're going to remove the 21mm nuts that you see right here. Okay, and remove the caliper bracket off. Check your slider pins. They're still good, so let's do that now. All right, so the actual correct size for this is 13/16 for this bolt, because this is obviously American, so it doesn't use metric. There's your caliper bracket. We're gonna clean that up, put new shims on it. So our next step is to remove this bolt. It is a T30. So let's see. So what I like to do is go forward first, and then reverse, okay? Now I'm gonna remove the rotor. Took a little hammering, a little persuasion. So now we're gonna clean up this entire hub surface, and then we're gonna put some anti-seize on the hub and install our new rotors. Hub was cleaned, a little bit of anti-seize compound around the hub ring. Screws back on. Now we're gonna replace the clips and clean all the hardware here. New clips installed, clean behind the clips, sliders removed and re-greased. Now we're gonna put everything back on. Caliper bolts torqued to 137 foot-pounds. Next, we're gonna install the brake pads. Make sure they're in the same orientation as the old ones so they don't make any mistake. There's your brake pads installed. Just be very careful with the clips. If they're not sliding in properly, that means they're not in. The squealers should both be at the bottom. Okay, we're not gonna lubricate the pad. We're actually gonna lubricate the caliper area. The pads you only lubricate in the contact points there and there where it contacts the shim. The rest of it we'll do on the caliper bracket. Here's your caliper. So we're gonna put lubricating lube on the piston surfaces as well as on this surface where it contacts the pad. So those are the 3, 4, 5 surfaces we will apply some brake paste. The apparent torque value for this bolt is 26 foot-pounds. I put a medium thread Loctite on all the bolts because they did have it from the factory. And then what I do is I mark all the bolts to remind myself that I did do it. Okay, so this is completely done. Just got to reattach this to this right here. And then we can move on to the rear brakes and finish the other side. For the rear brakes, you just got to step in the car, put it to run, go into the menu, under brake, click brake service. It'll retract the parking brake, and then it'll activate it again once you depress the brake and hit the handbrake after you're completely done the service, because it does have electric brakes. Okay, so we're gonna do this now. So the next step is just disconnect these, pull this one out because you're gonna be removing the caliper back here. And now we're gonna remove these 12 mils. You gotta depress the caliper bracket back. So get a tool like this and you're gonna just twist it in, okay? You're gonna lubricate this contact point and this contact point once you put everything back together. So right now we gotta remove our bracket and our pads. So here are our pads. This car has a lot of pulsation. That is the reason that the brakes are being changed, not because of the life on them. And they're pretty tight in here. So let's get these removed. Now that you have your caliper bracket off, using a 13/16 to remove the two bolts. Leave your bracket there. And we're gonna work on this. You see it's pretty rusty, so it's probably gonna involve some hammering. You're gonna need your Torx again to remove that. You got the rotor removed, you're gonna clean the hub best you can and just apply some anti-seize compound around here. That's how your shims go on. Pointing outwards. This is now greased. We're now gonna tighten those bolts to 110 foot-pounds. Get your pads on. Remember, just the contact points are lubricated. New shims are in. These help spread the pads out as they get older so that they don't stick and make contact, so they keep pushing out on them. Now we're gonna put our brake caliper back on. Everything's done now. Mark all our bolts. They're all torqued. These, it's probably around 13 foot-pounds. I didn't check. They're so small. I would hand tighten them because they didn't take a lot to loosen up. Okay, every clip is back in. And now we can move to the other side.